Coming up on National Focus, Melville Hall Access Road expected to be complete by the end of this year. GIS reports on occupational therapy in Dominica. Hello and welcome to National Focus. I'm Fontaine.
And I'm Jarna Hector. Thank you for joining us.
In the headlines, Portsmouth hosted the Independence Quarterfinals Finals last weekend.
And the Division of Forestry is appealing for citizens to be kind to the Botanic Gardens.
Stay with us as we bring you the details of these stories and more when National Focus returns. Welcome back. Time now for the details of the news. Minister for Public Works, Honorable Rayburn Blackmore, spoke to the media last week of the status of the Melville Hall Access Road project. Honorable Blackmore revealed that 2 subcontractors were hired and construction is progressing rapidly.
We have seen an acceleration on the ground. We have seen in recent times the commencement of paving. The intention, therefore, is to add additional paving crews so we can have paving activities being undertaken on either section of the road. That is to say, from the Marigot end and from the Pocasset end. And why do we want to do that? Because the Pocasset end, most of us who travels there, we realize that most of the base material has been completed and compacted. But it's a very vulnerable area in the sense that if it rains heavily, all that nice wood can be washed away. That's the reason why we're finalizing discussion between all relevant parties with a view of adding and building a kind of consortium between all the contracting parties with a view of having an increase in the activities insofar as paving is concerned. I do hope, and we have seen the actual commencement of the excavation in the Botanic Garden area. And that was one of the most critical areas left to be addressed by way of excavation and in the Bears area, and that is those both activities are being done right now.
The minister noted that through government's tenacity, the road will soon yield significant benefits, even in this time of financial worry.
We are confident going forward that in the next couple of weeks coming, we will see a better appreciation as to what the final product on the ground is going to look like. And I'm happy that the Labour Party administration once again is able to deliver such an important project in trying time. At the end of the day, what we're going to see is by way of benefits, an improved road network. Persons will be able to commute with a greater sense of security and confidence. Driving time or travel time, will be significantly less. So this picture. Travel time initially would have taken you less than an hour and 20 minutes. And that is cut down to half. Or persons who drive fast, half an hour.
According to the Public Works Minister, a few bridges along the way will be extended for ease of commute. The project is expected to be completed by the end of the year.
Occupational therapy in Dominica was given a boost last year, January, with the construction of a center of operations to call their own. Common occupational therapy, or OT interventions, as it is otherwise known, includes helping children with disabilities to participate fully in school and social situations, helping people recovering from injury to regain skills, and providing support for older adults experiencing physical and cognitive changes. Before the opening of the new occupational therapy building, therapists worked out of the Acute Psychiatric Unit, or APU. OT staff hosted an open house at their new center last Tuesday to exhibit patients' achievements. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Helen Royer, addressed the open house explaining the value of occupational therapy.
You will come to realize that occupational therapy, otherwise known as OT, is a client-centered health profession promoting health and well-being through occupation. It focuses on rehabilitation of persons who may have become ill and need a reminder of their God-given abilities to live normal lives. Too many of our patients are deemed disabled and dysfunctional simply because they may have become affected by an illness, physical or mental. Occupational therapy is a unique way of helping such persons to gain skills and confidence in their life, no matter how challenging or limited it might be.
The building was funded by JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency, and Roye recognized JICA's contribution towards health through the construction of the center.
Over the past 7 years, the government of Dominica collaborated with the Japan International Cooperation Agency, and through their volunteer program, they have provided technical support to keep this program running. This wonderful facility was constructed through funding by the government of Japan, the Ministry of Health, and the initiative of the staff of the psychiatric unit.
Consultant psychiatrist within the Ministry of Health, Dr. Griffin Benjamin, discussed a few benefits to be derived from the upgrade.
The construction of this facility has brought many benefits to our clients. Clients recovering from acute mental illness can enjoy what we call transitional support. On their way to their homes, we teach them some skills that they can take back to their homes and incorporate back into the community and be accepted by their people.
GIS News visited the Occupational Therapy Center last Friday and spoke with the therapist, JICA's Marco Abe. Abe has been a volunteer therapist here for 2 years and told us what her responsibility is at the center.
I am an occupational therapist from Japan, and I come here to do activities with patients and teach local staffs to continue this program. I am doing some activity like arts and crafts, exercise, watching movies, and sometimes doing like these activities go outside.
Abe says that she has learned a bit about culture and occupational therapy.
For occupational therapy, the culture is very important. So I have skills of occupational therapy, but I don't know about Dominican culture. So staff and patients also teach me many things about Dominica and also Patois.
Abe completes her term in November. Leslie Ann Waldron is a social worker associated with the APU, and she says that there is less stigma against patients who are able to function normally in society after therapy. Those patients also have increased self-confidence and esteem. Occupational therapy also helps rehabilitate patients back into the community.
Occupational therapy is an integral part of our treatment here at the psychiatric unit. We actually get our patients, our inpatients, to do occupational therapy while they're here at the unit. It helps them with hand-eye coordination, so they do different activities such as coloring, knitting and those things. Doing puzzles and those things actually help them with concentration, and we help them with activities of everyday living. So here in our building, we realize we have a kitchen where patients are allowed to cook, and we help them with the actual hygiene and different things that they have to do in their everyday life, so that when they go back into society, they will be able to function as regular members of society.
In other news, Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit wants residents of the Carib Territory to claim ownership of the projects ongoing within their community. The Prime Minister made the remark as he addressed the contract signing ceremony for the construction of access roads within the territory.
It belongs to the Kalinago people, and you must take ownership. So the road is not just to drive on alone. It is how can we utilize it to enhance agricultural production? How can we utilize it to enhance our advantage, taking advantage of tourism potential in that area? Because it is a scenic drive and lends itself to tremendous economic opportunities.
In more news, Acting Minister for Housing, Honorable Ivor Stevenson, says government's thrust to improve housing conditions in communities throughout the island continues to impact the lives of thousands. The minister made that remark as he addressed a contract signing ceremony last week for Phase 2 of the Carib Territory Low-Income Housing Project.
Housing is a major contributor to enhance social and economic development. These are some of the reasons why providing improved access to appropriate, safe, healthy, and affordable shelter for all Dominicans continues to be a major preoccupation of the government of Dominica. The ministry's approach to strengthening access to housing for our people continues to be multi-pronged. These includes the allocation of the sale of housing lots and units, the provision of services and infrastructure to housing sites, the squatter regularization program, and the home and sanitation services program. And in delivering these programs, particular attention is being given to children, the elderly, and emergency situations. Despite the current economic challenges, the government's Housing Revolution program continues, and side by side with this project, works continue on the Petro Casa houses, the Silver Lake housing program, and the infrastructure at Jimit and Union Estate.
As part of government's housing thrust, construction will begin later this month on over 60 apartment units in Bath Estate and Ems Hall.
Our mission is to address a very serious challenge confronting the people who work in Rosa, some of whom are from the Carib Territory, who receive a monthly salary of, say, $1,200. And out of that, $900 goes into renting some little 2x4 in Rosa. How can they survive if they have to pay to a landlord more than 95% of what they earn? How can they take care of other families? Subtract bus fares and top-ups, and cell phone top-ups, light bills, and so forth. They will never be able to own a home unless a government sees it necessary to invest serious sums of money towards addressing that particular plight. And our hope is that, for example, if you pay now, let's say $900 per month, we would have you in this apartment for about $400 to $500 a month, and eventually you will end up owning that apartment. You will be putting money into a bottomless pit and not seeing your way.
Moving along, hundreds turned out on Sunday at the Cabrit's cruise ship berth in Portsmouth for the hosting of the Independence Cultural Finals. Inclement weather conditions associated with Tropical Storm Raphael resulted in cancellations of parts 1 and 2, which were scheduled for last week Friday and Saturday, respectively. Children and adults competed in Jingping Creative Dance, Creole Song, Mouth Organ, Mazouk Waltz, Belay, and Kokoi Tori.
agite, release yourself away. Anu chapaya sam. Anu ale, anu vini asam.
Meanwhile, Minister for Social Services, Community Development and Gender Affairs, Honourable Gloria Shillingford, is impressed with the increased involvement of youths in the independence activities.
Every year brings the emergence of new groups of young persons and the participation of more and more schools in the various activities, particularly in the area of dance. And I must take this time to ask you to give a hand to all the principals and teachers of our various schools who continue to help us in that area. I know that even the newly opened St. John's Academy had a group in the flirtation at the semi-finals held here 2 weeks ago, and that is great. This type of involvement on the part of schools is praiseworthy and speaks positively for the sustainability of culture in Dominica. Young people, I must applaud you. Often young people are taken to task for their perceived negativity and lack of involvement. When it comes to culture, your interest and involvement stand out, and you deserve to be congratulated. So young people, let us give them a hand.
Minister for Culture, Youth and Sports, Honourable Justina Charles, also addressed the official opening ceremony of Sunday's competition. She noted the overall interest in cultural activities among young people. She made an appeal for the current trend to continue and mentioned government's efforts to support moves towards increasing involvement of young people in cultural activities.
We need to have more children participating in the court competition. Storytelling is a very important aspect of our oral tradition, and so we require to preserve that. Next year will be a special year. We will celebrate the 35th anniversary of our independence. I wish to encourage all schools to participate in next year's cultural activity. Our Prime Minister has pledged $50,000 towards schools' cultural showcase next year. So I urge the schools to make a special effort to make this a reality. The cultural division has started, but will intensify its work towards achieving this goal.
Parliamentary Representative for the Cottage constituency, Honourable Reginald Austry, in his address, called for more attention to be paid to the theme for this year's independence celebrations.
The theme is very appropriate, partnering together for further development and progress. Because we understand that we're living in very difficult times. We understand that we're living in very trying times. And it's only through our collective effort as Dominicans that we can ride this difficult period. So the government is doing what it can do. We're trying our best, but we cannot do it alone. We need partners. We need the private sector. We need civil society. We need cultural enthusiasts, and we need the media and every single Dominican to assist in the development process. I'm sure you all know what's happening for the rest of the world, the difficulties that many countries are going through right now. And the theme, the message is, let us all get together as community, let us get together as a people to see if we can ride over those difficult periods. And I want to say this because every year we choose these themes, every year we rally around it, after independence is gone, we all forget what the theme was. But I'm hoping that this year, this theme will remain with us and we will continue to partner together as one people.
Part 2 of the cultural finals is carded for Tuesday at the Matutus Park in Grand Bay.
Director of Forestry, Minchinton Burton, wants the public to exercise consideration while attending Lime's Curl in the park at Botanic Gardens next week. At a press conference last week, the government official who is responsible for managing the Botanic Gardens told the public that the Forestry Division aims to minimize damage to the gardens as much as possible.
As you know, we recently put in over $1 million irrigation system in the Botanic Gardens, and we're very much concerned about the damage to that, and we would like to actually ensure that patrons, particularly one of the key problems we've been having sometimes is from the vendors. Some of the vendors who sometimes, in terms of bringing in some of the stuff, they sometimes drive on the lawns and they do not follow some of the regulations. We really would like to appeal to them this year to, as much as possible, to partner with us and all the guidelines that we give them. We expect the police also to be very instrumental in actually helping us to manage that aspect of things, because you find that sometimes we speak about it and then on the day itself, everybody trying to rush and do the things, and then sometimes, you have 1 or 2 incidents of this kind. So we want to be particularly mindful of that, of the impact to this very expensive irrigation system and the sprinklers in the gardens, and we'd like to appeal to all and sundry. We ourselves that try together with Lime are working to see how we can actually produce some protection to some of the sprinklers themselves, but of course we are appealing for the help of the general public and the vendors in particular.
Burton made special mention that open flames are not permitted on the grounds of the Botanic Gardens.
In terms of open flames and barbecues, these are not permitted within the Botanic Gardens. As you know, it's an eco-tourist site, and we do not permit open flames and barbecue. Normally, most of the vendors are asked to come in with their food already, or just these heaters to actually heat up the food already prepared. So we do not permit these open flames, and for obvious reasons. It's a botanic garden, there are a number of plants, etc. There's grass, any little flame could actually cause some serious damage to the gardens.
The public is also asked to take note that driving and parking on the lawn is strictly prohibited. Pearl, I'm thinking that the Director of Forestry wants people to pay attention to the gardens, but I'm also thinking of other ways that people can basically take care of our natural resources, not just the Botanic Gardens.
I agree with you. We have the Waitakabuli National Trail. I think, that people really should take care of that. Even our city streets. I mean, it's important to not litter, to use the bins that the Dominica Solid Waste Management Corporation has put in place. And you have the businesses who have bought bins, in line with the streets that they're on. So I think it's really important to keep our city green, beautiful, and clean.
I'm also thinking of times when we go to the river and we cook something by the river, and we have snacks, and some people leave their stuff there, and you come and you find that's so sad. I mean, take your trash back so we can take care of our city streets. We can take care of all our resources. We don't have to wait for something huge to happen, for a big beach cleaning drive to take care of what we have. We are Dominica, as we always say.
That's right. I agree with you. And that's the English segment of the news. We now join Macpherson St. Louis for the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non, moi c'est Macpherson St. Louis. Premièrement, le gouvernement Dominique bien plaisir pour assistance et recevoir au Venezuela, et puis pour contrôler le mauvais maladie Black Sikatoka qui a bien détruit l'industrie figue et puis banane. Parole sur la sortie du chef officier agriculteur, M. Ricky Bromand.
Black Sikatoka sont mauvais maladies. Nous savons ça, nous avons dit ça, tout le monde peut-être connaît ça, contre Black Sikatoka. Mais l'important, c'est que le gouvernement Venezuela était très content, il était autant content, il était vite pour nous supporter là nous avons besoin, il était vite pour venir, il avait aidé nous, il avait ces chimiques là nous avons besoin pour spray pour Black Sikatoka. Il y a aussi voyé monde descendre pour garder la situation avec Black Sikatoka, pour aider nous à manager Black Sikatoka. Il y a venu vite. Tout ça nous fait déjà pour des sprays, pour banane avec figue. C'est chemical tapé hard hot Venezuela. Nous ni d'autres stock, yo qui continue pour banou, yo contrat pour faire ça. Nous voulons remercier autant pour assistance là.
Another nouvelle, Minister Public Works Honorable Ribbon Blackmore, qui a fait parole qui gouvernement a adressé chimé habitants en pays là. Honorable Blackmore a déjà annoncé semaine passée que le gouvernement a mis attention à ces 18 chimés tout en pays là et puis d'autres pour venir. Honorable Blackmore fait parole que le gouvernement a mis attention à ces occasions où les habitants qui ont planté d'aoué, mais d'autres l'occasion qui ont payé attention après. Selon le ministre Blackmore, le gouvernement a dépensé 2,5 millions de dollars à ces projets et puis contracteur local qui a fait travail. Le ministre a aussi annoncé qu'il travaille à prendre place 8 bâtiments l'occasion qui au fil d'être dommagé. Et aussi annoncé le travail qui pour prendre place à ces chimères en ville Roseau. Dans la nouvelle, State College Dominica a targeté certaines catégories de monde qui ni l'État bénéficie du programme PLA concept qui a conduit. M. Merrill Matthews, c'est directeur des affaires d'éducation State College Dominica.
Les gens qui bénéficient plus à PLA Dominique, pour actuellement, c'est les gens qui travaillent à dans building comme maçon, charpentier, c'est mécanique, toutes ces qualités de gens qui normalement ils ne peuvent pas aller à l'école. Ils peuvent aller faire ces trades ça. Mais quand ils peuvent faire trades ça, c'est comme ça qu'ils peuvent apprendre. Comme ça nous supposons une manière pour nous déterminer ça c'est mon ça connaître, ça yo ça faire. Comme ça nous pour développer standards pour nous tester pour voir ça yo ça faire et pour nous bailler un certificat pour ça yo ça faire.
Et puis finalement, l'organisation CIDEM a fait une consultation régionale qui a concerné législation et puis régulation système management des désastres en Dominique. Consultation celle-là qui a tapé support USAID, DFID, SIDA, ensemble et puis gouvernement Italie et puis Dominique. Ça fait qu'à concerner législation pour des désastres pays régionaux qui a tapé support au programme cela. Plusieurs pays CIDEM ensemble et puis d'autres qui ont participé en consultation des jours là qui a pris place en hôtel Fontaine en Roseau. Ministère pour les désastres, Honorable Charles Savren, député chef CIDEM Elizabeth Riley, ensemble et puis officier des désastres Grenade qui a adressé la consultation là. Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle en créole pour à présent. Non moins, c'est McPherson, St. Louis. Au revoir.
Up next is the tip of the day.
The facts as they are, brought to you every day, only on GIS Channel 7.
One way to motivate yourself is to take regular breaks. You probably know this, but do you really do it?
The natural rhythm of brain and body means that few people can focus on the same thing in the same way for more than 45 minutes. When you start to feel restless, that's a good indicator that it's time for a change of pace for a few minutes.
Check your email or make a phone call or get a glass of water, and then you may be surprised how easy it is to return to your original task. And that's National Focus. As usual, we invite your suggestions or comments. Please feel free to drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm, or you could visit our website at news.gov.dm.
Or you could visit our GIS Dominica pages on both YouTube and Facebook. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Jarna Hector.
And I'm Fontaine. Thanks for watching.